Hello again YouTube, Mad Dog here. Thought I'd just quickly show you all my flint and iron kit that I carry if I go out, for a long weekend or a week away bushcrafting or just generally practicing basically. So what I've got here is a little old miniature cigar tin, nothing flash or fancy, just rubbish. And inside I have the standard flint and iron items. So I've got 2 pieces of flint. I collected these pieces from a previous holiday when I was in Norfolk. I found the nodules and I broke them up into small manageable pieces, but leaving as many sharp edges on and a good flat area as I could. So I have 2 of those. I've got here an old hand forged striker. This is the traditional type of striker. I've used it quite a bit. But I also keep a backup, a reserve if you like, which is this little fella here. And this is simply a piece of old metalworking file, high carbon steel. If you're going to use this method, don't use a cheap file. It's got to be a real good quality high carbon steel. And all I've done is I've ground the edges flat, and obviously where I've broken it off, and that also becomes a striker. And obviously at the bottom of the tin some homemade char cloth. I'll explain a bit more about that later, so I'll try and give a quick demonstration of this stuff working. So I get a piece of char cloth. Now normally my full pieces are 2 inches by 2 inches approximately, and I do that for the reason that when you've actually established an ember you need enough char cloth to burn whilst you're blowing it to a flame. If you use a really small amount, your ember will burn out before you've generated enough heat to ignite the tinder. So, a little tip is don't be shy and skimping on the amount of char cloth you use when you're using this method. So, standard method, piece of char cloth over the edge of the flint, and I'll demonstrate using the file. Just light blows down. Just move that out of the way. So it just be my luck for the lot to go up. And there we go. Nearly had it. Try again. Don't know if this is picking up, but I've got an ember straight away. Just see that little fella glowing away there. So it's dead easy to do. You don't have to be dead skilled really to do this. So what I'll then do is double the char cloth up and apply that then into my bird's nest, my kindling, which in this case, just for a demo, I've got a small amount of jute twine fluffed up and fibrous. So I'm going to place my char cloth in there. This would normally be your natural tinder. And as you can see, hopefully, I've got myself my fire going. So that's the flint and iron way of establishing a quick and easy fire. So as you can see, it's quite effective. A little bit of practice and it's not hard, So I'll just move this out of the way and extinguish it over here. So a little bit of, I don't know, tip or advice, stuff that I found that works for me along the way. The flint, you need a nice flat surface to lay your char cloth, because the bigger the area of char cloth that's exposed, the more likely and the more chances you have of landing a spark on that. So that'd be tip number 1. Your flint should have as many sharp edges as possible. Your actual pieces of char cloth, like I said earlier, for me, I normally sort of cut them that sort of size, So you've got plenty of char cloth that gives you plenty of time to blow it into a flame on a proper big nest, for when you're doing it for real. Another little tip is the actual char cloth itself. What I found works best, obviously it needs to be 100% cotton, your material, but what I find works best is, you know, like the face flannels, you know, like a miniature towel, used in the bathroom sort of thing. Because the material's a little bit thicker than the standard, you know, t-shirts, etc. Try using that. It really does hold a good ember, and it just burns that little bit longer. You know, it's really effective. So again, I'll just try and light this bit up quickly before I sign off, if we can, with the old traditional way. There we go. Not sure I'm going to get that. Yep, we've got it. Like I say, it's not hard, you know. A little bit of practice, you get yourself some good embers. Dead easy. Nice little traditional fire lighting method, this, one of my favourites. Not ideal in wet conditions, admittedly, but great fun to practice. Good skill to learn. So, thought I'd share my little kit with you. A few little tips and tricks if you like. So, take care out there. Thank you very much for watching as always. Let me know what you think. Give me any advice or any ideas that you guys and lasses may have. You know, this community is all about sharing knowledge. So, thank you very much for watching. Mad Dog signing off. Yeah.